Vladimir Putin, the enigmatic Russian leader, has long been a figure of interest in the international stage. As the president of Russia and a former intelligence officer, Vladimir Putin possesses enormous power and control, which extends to his preference for firearms and combat gear. In this look, we'll delve into the world of his personal spending on weapons, creating light on his collection of firearms and military equipment and the implications of his fascination with the art of war. Let's get going. The history of Russian military expenditure spans centuries and continents, reflecting the country's enduring pursuit of security, influence, and power. Russia's commitment to defense spending has left a permanent imprint on its history and global geopolitics, from formidable armies of the Russian Empire to the superpower status attained during the Soviet era and today's drive to maintain its armed forces. The origins of Russia's defense spending can be traced back to its large empire, where territorial ambitions and geopolitical challenges demanded a powerful military. The relentless expansion of the Russian Empire into Eastern Europe, Siberia, and Central Asia compelled significant investments in military infrastructure, fortifications, and military bases. This imperialism depended on the foundation of a formidable army. Peter the Great initiated a program of military modernization in the late 17th and early 18th centuries by importing Western European technology and establishing a standing army. This was an important point in the military history of Russia. Born from the Russian Revolution of 1917, the Soviet Union experienced unprecedented military expenditure and militarization. During the Cold War, the ideological rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union led to a massive arms competition. The Soviet Union devoted almost half of its economic output, or GDP, to military expenditures, maintaining one of the world's largest armies and an enormous nuclear arsenal. The pursuit of military superiority extends to space exploration. Such technological achievements as the launch of Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin's orbit demonstrated the nation's prowess. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of decades-long ideological and geopolitical competition with the United States and the emergence of independent nations throughout Eastern Europe and Central Asia. While this momentous event ushered the newfound freedom and self-determination for many, it also thrust the former Soviet states, especially Russia, into a period of economic instability and required a substantial reduction in the military. The rise to power of Vladimir Putin in 1990 marked a turning point in Russian history, signifying a shift toward increased military spending and a renewed emphasis on Russia's military capabilities. As he ascended the presidency, he was confronted with a nation dealing with the aftermath of economic turmoil and a diminished military presence on the international stage. His administration rallied public support using nationalism and pride in Russia's historical achievements. The strengthening of the military has become a symbol of national revitalization and a source of domestic legitimacy. He initiated a series of military reforms designed to modernize the military. These reforms included the acquisition of sophisticated weaponry, the improvement of troop morale, and the improvement of training and readiness. The Russian government gradually increased defense expenditures and allocated a large portion of federal budget to the military during Putin's presidency, resulting in a significant increase in military spending. This sustained investment enabled the acquisition of contemporary apparatus and technology. The Russian military undertook a comprehensive modernization campaign, enhancing both its conventional and nuclear capabilities. He saw the military as a vital tool for projecting Russian power and influence on the international stage. He initiated a comprehensive program of modernization, investing significantly in the improvement of weapons, technology, and infrastructure. This involved the creation of sophisticated missile systems, naval vessels, and the combat aircraft. Russia maintained a strong emphasis on its nuclear arsenal, emphasizing its role as a nuclear power on the global stage. Putin made a formidable nuclear deterrent a cornerstone of his military strategy. Russia's 2014 military intervention in Ukraine and annexation of Crimea demonstrated its willingness to use force to defend its perceived interest. Putin's public demonstrations of firearm proficiency and material prowess represent Russia's military strength and readiness. Investing in personal weapons is not just about displaying displaying prowess, it is also about ensuring personal safety. In a volatile political climate, Putin's personal security is of the utmost importance. In recent years, Vladimir Putin has witnessed a shift in the nature and intensity of his personal security concerns. As a leader who has navigated Russia's complex political landscape and dealt with international tensions, his safety and security have become of the highest priority. There has been a developing atmosphere of internal criticism during his rule, with occasional protests and opposition movements challenging the policies of his government. Despite the fact that these demonstrations have been generally manageable, they foreshadow potential domestic instability and pose security challenges. His authority and the legitimacy of his reign have also been challenged by opposition figures and movements. The Navalny case and the imprisonment of prominent critics have heightened tensions, necessitating increased personal safety precautions. Another issue is international complication. Russia's rivalry with the United States and Western powers have intensified. Concerns about retaliatory actions or secret operations aimed at Putin have arisen as a result of heightened tensions over issues such as Ukraine, Syria, and election involvement. The expansion of NATO into Eastern Europe and the Baltic states has increased the inspection of Russia's territory and interest. Cyber hazards have emerged as a major security concern in the digital age due to Russia's involvement to cyber espionage and potential retaliatory actions from enemies. His and his inner circle's personal cybersecurity has become a crucial concern. Putin's security concerns are heightened by the history of political assassinations in Russia, both at home and abroad. Cases of reputation, such as the poisoning of Alexander Litvinenko in the United Kingdom and the attempted assassination of Sergei Skripal, highlight the potential dangers that Russian government critics face. He has exiled or incarcerated political opponents, prompting some to seek asylum abroad. Protecting himself from the hazards posed by these figures is now a top priority. Putin's personal spending on weapons is a component of a larger endeavor to protect himself and his inner circle from potential threats. He frequently engages in firing exercises and martial arts training, demonstrating his firearm skill. This public demonstration of skill reinforces his reputation as a strong, capable leader who can defend himself and his nation if necessary. A well-stocked arsenal sends a message of fortitude and readiness. It represents his dedication to protecting Russia's interests and his resolve to protect those in his inner circle. Potential threats can be prevented by the knowledge that Putin has his closest associates are armed and trained in the use of weapons. It indicates that any attempt to injure them will meet a punitive force. His intimate circle consists of individuals in whom he has complete faith. By providing them with access to weapons and combat training, he strengthens the bonds of loyalty and trust that are essential to sustaining the stability of his regime. To conclude this discussion, the Russian government military budget in 2022 will be $86.4 billion, and they plan to spend up to $600 billion on their military and police between 2022 and 2025. Well, that's a wrap for uncovering the insane cost of Vladimir Putin's personal army. If you learned something, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. This is Luxify.